I have maybe just less than 30 minutes, so let's go with 20 minutes. But I did want to go live. First off, last night, the show Stuck in the Middle, that will always be my main passion project. We forgot to put hashtags in, and we're still experimenting. We experiment with the channel to, of course, see what works best. And we're right now with YouTube, you can vertical and horizontal stream at the same time. And we're dual streaming, and we're streaming on YouTube and Rumble. And that was what was going on. What's up, Hillbilly? God bless you. I hope all is well, okay? Truly. I hope that your new year has been okay. So, like I said, bear with us if you are keeping up with Stuck in the Middle as we continue to see what YouTube works with and rewards. There's always bumps in the road, so to speak. But okay, aside from that, that's not why I went live. I'm going live because I wanted to just rant before I even had time to process my thoughts on this very persuasive character, Nick Fuentes. I He's somebody I'm trying to understand. I think I understand or see the allure. I mean, for me personally, I guess his rhetoric and the things he says, they're meant to be shocking and they're meant to get your attention. What's up, Shep? How you doing, brother? When they're don't take me back to how many years ago, I don't even know, but they have bumps in the road, and the literal ones at that. Bad times, my friend. But yeah, no bumps, just the natural bumps in the road, my friend. And by the way, do you watch Nick Fuentes? I don't want to say I hope not. So I took some time to go down a separate rabbit hole. I like to keep my eyes on all the rabbit holes, so I just have a fresh mind on something to talk about when that time comes. And I sat there and I looked up as many clips as I could find. He is this the appeal of him? Strong America First message, right? You never heard of Fuentes? He's not on YouTube. Well, he's on YouTube through other people, but his rhetoric would be like insta banned 100%. I don't know if he's on Rumble. I found all these clips collected on X. The dude says everything that you could say to get banned, and you're gonna hear plenty of N-words and anything that's insulting to someone that's not white or non-American. You're going to hear it. Is it provocative? Is he a provocateur? Is he walking the walk? This is an individual that makes posts and talks about like Hitler team, right? So I find myself confused. How American is it to profess that you're a fan of Hitler? We went to war with the fucking Nazis, and then to turn around and parade him as some sort of icon. Again, I don't know if he is just literally trying to bait the shock value. I don't know, his convictions. Some of it's very appealing, I suppose. Both, Shep. He's also very fucking feminine. And people make fun of him for that. Low-hanging fruit, I suppose, but all's fair here, because he definitely doesn't hold back at all, and I do think that's the appeal. People want as unfiltered and uncensored as you can get, which is why I think in his respective field, people gravitate towards him. I still don't fully understand the term that's been adopted to his followers, like the groypers or whatever this is. Those were the individuals, or that's the term that was being thrown around when Charlie Kirk was first, killed. They were thinking it was a groyper or something. I don't have a full grasp on that fan base and what they stand for, but Nick Fuentes, as far as I can understand with his stance, he'll go at anybody's throat, so there's respect there, I suppose. Well spoken, because he's clearly been harnessing his means to debate as a weapon, and I think anybody that steps in the ring with him in the art of conversation needs to treat him as a weapon. And the message seems to be to me, like, I want to understand the appeal. Like, we have that other guy, that kid Julian, that keeps calling the show Stuck in the Middle, and basically acting just like Nick Fuentes, as if he doesn't have his own identity, talking about how Nazis were not bad guys, and like, what? This is another thing, this day and age, I just don't understand to be hearing, and somehow it's conflated with patriotism. So Nick Fuentes will say, we are Rome. We want to conquer everything. We want to conquer the world. To him, America first is going out there and fucking shit up and taking it and just saying America. Is that appealing? I do want to understand. I would really like to have conversations with people, and I guess I have my opportunity with this individual. I just have a feeling, I don't know if he ever comes here to hear me talk, because I mentioned him a few times. Full on, I think this guy, Julian, is placating me and Josh just to utilize a platform to spew everything he hates, everything he thinks. He likes the platform. Dare I say, I don't think he has much else to do than to wait for us to be there, and he just uses Nick Fuentes talking points. Again, it's one thing to appreciate somebody or celebrate somebody, but when it comes to, repeating and regurgitating everything, it almost gives me the feeling that you are not capable of original thought. You're just a parrot. You have to, I hope the conviction that people have is legitimate, that there's an actual foundation, that you were speaking what you believe, and you're not just, doing this. What's lost on me about this specific person that keeps calling in as a huge Nick Fuentes fan, and here's the similarity between them both. They're both Latin American white passing individuals, and they never really talk about the fact that they are of any other race except white, and they talk about the superiority of the white race pretty much nearly constantly. And of course, anti-Semitism, with a sprinkle and dash of Islam and it being a threat. But I don't want to compel anybody to offer traffic to Nick Fuentes. Check out some clips, look into it, because it is a voice that is growing. I'll dare say, and this is my own opinion, I think it's growing secondary or within, right near Candace Owens' numbers, and he doesn't need YouTube for it. So that tells us there's a lot of individuals right now that, if I'm to believe they agree with everything Nick says, they want an imperial America. They want us to wipe out our enemies, and these things on the surface, I suppose, sounds like great, right? Yes, we want a strong, productive America. Do we want an imperial America? Like, I know our history, and history's saturated in blood, and nothing's pretty, and we're not supposed to apologize for anything anymore. I do believe in the prospect of looking forward, and in the present, I am trying to wrap my head around, like, what is so capitalizing of this personality, and he speaks as much as you can violence, and I don't know. I have some concern, I have some fear, and I don't fully understand this character, this person who never fails to remind us how his life is in danger. You speak some of the things that you say out there, you're going to get some form of backlash. I'm not going to sit here and say it's justified, but I am confused. Nick Fuentes is a popular streamer, and I don't know what that means for the future. I don't know the entirety of his demographic. It spreads from the young, and I'm reluctant to say to the old, but it is, I guess I'm concerned, and I want this brief live to just be an invitation to anybody that's willing to have a discussion, conversation to some degree. I don't care if it's paneled or typed or whatever, who can help me understand. I don't know if I want to go deeper into this rabbit hole. not out of fear of toxicity, just, I don't know, but he'll amp you up. He will amp you up. I think he's replaced Alex Jones. He's not too conspiracy heavy, but if you ask him, everything is the Jews' fault, which is a popular thing this day and age. You know, there's no shortage of hating on Judaism as a product of selling yourself on the platforms and the streaming, social media, whatever. That's the extent of the voice. If he's femme, don't have that shit. Yeah, well, watching him talk and fucking bend his wrist every 3 minutes is pretty hilarious, and I will not be reluctant to have a laugh at that individual's expense. But I don't know. I just wanted to kind of document my own confusion and curiosity. I am going to be going live again, and there's other things that I'm looking through without the lens of YouTube, because YouTube is very constricting, and I see why a lot of these other platforms are succeeding. The ones that promote the anti-censorship, and there is a cost, but I think we as Americans will always hold the First Amendment as one of our strongest priorities and values, which is why the more unhinged and unfiltered people get, I think the more they're going to attract others. I just do have a natural fear of how much they take in and digest and believe, and what that belief could possibly manifest, especially when it becomes a collective. If you're a Nick Fuentes fan and you happen to click play and listen to anything I said, I invite you and ask you to give me a dialogue of some kind. Let's get on a panel, and I have some questions, because I'm not I'm not caught up to speed with this dude's career, but he's been around a long time. What's up, Ringo? I'm wrapping up. I have to get to work. I think what I'm expressing is a mix of confusion, and I won't even hide the fact, a mix of fear, because what he implies. And does it sound like winning? All right, like, again, I'm repeating myself, I'm looping a bit. His message consistently is that we need to invade as many countries as possible, pretty much take over and dominate the world. This is not a game. We're not fucking around. What's always appealing, I love hearing America first, but his America first is being on the offensive and doing whatever it takes to be first. I guess, when you put that on paper and you hear all of it, it's enticing and you want to be a part of that. Are you willing to make the sacrifices necessary? Whole other story, but how far is that going to go? Like, it's a fascinating psychological study, an analysis that is inevitable, especially because I feel that something he stands for very boldly is a direct conflict with some of the things that I've said. And I don't know if I'm trying to understand my enemy or understand. I think he's more than a flash in the pan. I think he is the beginning of a movement and a part of the fracturing of the MAGA base, or the conservative base. Him, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro, and even Matt Walsh has fallen victim, because sometimes he could be a bit of a pussy. I'm afraid overall of how fractioned the conservative base can be, will be, and a Democrat will win the highest office. Oh, shout out to the fucking idiot last night that came and stuck to the middle, that was agreeing with everything, and Annabelle was her name. And at the very end, she goes, haha, fooled you, and starts spamming the Palestine flag, saying, you guys are stupid, blah, 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 free Palestine. Some trolls have some strange ways of manifesting their trolling, and that, my dear, you sitting in our live stream for 40 minutes and agreeing with everything we said just to have your last sentence before you dip out say, haha, fooled you, bitch, go get some medication and, let's stay medicated for a few months, then come back. Just return to fucking sanity. I don't understand humanity. Maybe that's my problem. And yeah, Fuentes is motherfucking extreme. There's no hiding from that fact. But I think it is that extremeness that is the appeal. It is that no filtration concern. People want to hear those hard ends. They want to hear every stereotype speaking and eloquently and loudly. And he's full of that. I guess it can be entertaining until you're in the crosshairs. All right, I've looped long enough. I have to go to work. God bless. Take care. I hope we can all find someone better than Nick fucking Fuentes.